It's 2 a.m. You're wide awake, staring up at the ceiling, replaying the same loop in your head. You have this gnawing sensation that while the rest of the world is sprinting forward, your feet are stuck in cement. You check your phone, and the evidence is right there. One friend just launched a startup. Another is getting married. Someone else is moving abroad. They are hitting the milestones. They are moving. And then there's you, overthinking in the dark, wrestling with the quiet, terrifying thought that you are wasting your life. This sense of inadequacy carries the weight of a personal failure, even though the exact same internal script is playing out in millions of bedrooms at once. Think about how you grew up. For your first 18 years, life had a rigid architecture. Schools gave you a schedule. Parents guided your choices. Society provided a clear rubric. Pass the test, move to the next grade, succeed. In your 20s, the societal scaffolding collapses overnight. The map is gone. Suddenly, you must navigate your career trajectory, financial independence, and life's purpose simultaneously. This overwhelming collision of unguided decisions causes a sudden loss of identity psychologists call the quarter-life crisis. Society sells the myth that your 20s are supposed to be your peak, a decade where everything effortlessly falls into place. The reality is quite the opposite. The resulting chaos comes from the sudden intersection of absolute freedom and zero guidance. That structural collapse is difficult on its own, but the digital environment acts as an engine that takes this natural confusion and weaponizes it. Historically, human comparison was local. You measured your progress against a few dozen peers in your physical town. Today, you open an app and compete daily against the top 1% of global achievements. This shows the asymmetry of information. One side shows towering visible markers of success. The other, submerged data points of unseen struggles. Online, people systematically curate their output, building an opaque filter that projects only peak happiness and ultimate milestones. What gets intentionally hidden from the feed is the messy daily reality, like mounting debt, constant daily anxiety, frequent professional rejection, and profound isolation. This creates a brutal psychological trap. You are comparing your chaotic, behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's heavily edited highlight reel. By filtering out the failures, social media manufactures an artificial timeline of continuous success. It practically guarantees that you will feel permanently behind in life. Compounding this false timeline is the sheer volume of paths available to you. You can see thousands of potential careers and lifestyles at all times. You could be a digital nomad, a famous influencer, a software engineer, a startup founder. The digital world presents every single one of these as a viable option. Psychologists call this choice paralysis. It is the phenomenon where being presented with an overwhelming number of options actually leads to complete inaction. You get caught in an intense cycle of overthinking. The fear of choosing the wrong path is so strong that you remain entirely static, watching your digital feed continue to scroll by. Infinite possibilities can result in a psychological stalemate, where the abundance of paths effectively anchors you in place. To break out of this trap, you have to dismantle the illusion of the singular timeline. Human life is not a linear race where everyone crosses the same finish line at the same time. The hidden truth is that the peers who appear outwardly successful and perfectly put together online are frequently masking deep internal confusion of their own. Society pushes the expectation that you must have your entire identity, career, and financial future mapped out and finalized by age 25. Most adults are still figuring out the basics well into their 30s and 40s. Holding yourself to that fabricated, linear timeline is a lie. It serves no purpose other than to breed anxiety and actively prevent your actual growth. Clarity behaves differently than we're taught. It rarely arrives through deep thought or waiting for inspiration. It is a byproduct of physical movement. You have to psychologically unplug from the artificial digital timeline. Focus on generating your own micro-momentum instead of attempting to fix your entire life overnight. This graph illustrates the impact of aiming for 1% daily improvements. Focusing on tiny, manageable actions builds an enormous exponential curve of progress over time. Embrace the reality of this decade. Your 20s are inherently designed to be highly experimental, completely messy, and filled with necessary failures. Actively try new things. Pick up a hobby, try freelance work, go to a networking event. Even if these attempts fall, The experience itself is the only reliable mechanism for discovering your true direction. The friction and uncertainty of this decade are the visible symptoms of becoming someone new. You are not standing still, and you are not failing. You are simply in the uncomfortable, necessary process of becoming who you need to be.